Penafiel is a municipality in Porto District of Portugal. The population in 2011 was 72,265 in an area of 212.24 square kilometers. The municipality of Penafiel is located east of Porto in Tâmega subregion, of which is one of the main cities. History. During the reign of King Joseph, the region was known as Rei-artur de Sousa. A royal letter of March 3, 1770 changed it to Penafiel and raised the city. The 28 parishes of the county are, for the large part, industrialized, while others are rural in nature. Villages have houses made with small stones and granite, both of which are common in locality of Penafiel. The origin of Penafiel name is different in several legends, and yet the most common which states that the origin of the name came from existing fortifications in the locality. When did the founding of the city? Stood here two castles. One of them stood by the river Sousa, north to his bed, and was called Castle of Rei-artur de Sousa. The second on the south bank is denominated Castle Penafiel. Attacked several times by the Moors, the latter fortification never surrendered, earning him the epithet of faithful, thus becoming known as Castle Penafiel. Despite this episode, the village kept for centuries its old name Sousa Rei-artur. The origin of the name Rei-artur is in doubt because it is speculated have come from Ariana, daughter of Hermenegildo González and de Mumadona days. After his father's death, Ariana inherited this land that was Lady in Century X. Several plots in the area were also owned by Mafalda in the first half of the 13th century. The beginning of Rei-artur de Sousa parish dates from the 16th century. In the same century, in 1519, King Manuel I of Portugal grants charter letter to raise the village, which would only happen in the reign of John V of Portugal by decree of 7 October 1741. A law of King Joseph I of Portugal dated March 3, 1770, finally changes the place name of the town to Penafiel and gives the city category. Also in 1770, a bull of Pope Clement XIV who created the Diocese of Penafiel, which was thus separated ecclesiastically of the Diocese of Porto. He was appointed Bishop Carmelite Bishop Fra Inácio São Caetano, confessor of Maria I of Portugal, who was then still Princess of Brazil. For meeting with the future Queen, Bishop never came to administer the diocese. Maria I, when she was elected Queen, persuaded Fry to give the bishopric, and in 1778 Pope Pius VI extinguishes the diocese, incorporating it back into the port. Prehistoric findings. There are some megalithic remains here. The menhir of Luzim, landmark sepulchral Tuzo-anding 2.5 meters high, WH dates 4,000 to 4,000 years. Still in the parish Luzim are the rock engravings of Lomar that last for 3,000 years. There are various forts but still have not been the subject of archaeological studies. The only where it has been carried out archaeological excavations, and which is the greatest of all, is the site near Mount Mosinho, known as the Dead City. This Castro, one of the largest in the Iberian Peninsula, have been, according to some historians, the Cividad Gallici, capital of the Galicians. The citadel retains traces of various cultures: Galician, Lusitanian, Roman, Visigoth and Arabic. It has not yet found a warrior statue, characteristic of Celtic influence. Municipal Library. Penafiel began building its library in 1863. On 6 June 1917, a new municipal library of Penafiel was inaugurated, located on Avenue Araújo e Silva. This would close in October 1919. It was reopened to the public on June 6, 1927 and was transferred to a small lounge on Avenida Sacadura Cabral. Demographics. Tourism. Penafiel is one of few municipalities in northern Portugal that attracts more tourists for its natural beauty than its human heritage. Penafiel is a county of strong vocation and tourist appeal. Their expressions of interest pervade various sectors, such as its heritage, its gastronomy, its natural landscapes, its traditions, fairs and festivals, which added to built tourist facilities and construction. Penafiel is a county of mountains, valleys and rivers, which can be brought to fruition from various points and places like the beautiful water levels resulting from Tâmega Bayou at the wild slopes of the Douro. Penafiel is also a county where one realizes the intense humanization that its territory was targeted over several millennia. Thus, several monuments that human art offered the light of day since the ancient prehistoric times can be enjoyed. Here can be visited Anta de Santa Marta, the menhir of Luzim, petroglyphs and several necropolis. Another offer that the tourist that Penafiel has to offer is the thermal tourism, spa in St. Vincent and the Inatel entre os Rios. The big differentiator of St. Vincent Spa is the characteristic and quality of its water, one of the most sulfurous sodic, strong, hypomineralized, carbonaceous sodic, silicate, and fluoridated Europe. They are considered the most alkaline among the sulfurous waters of Portugal and Europe. Its temperature is 18.5 degrees Celsius. The waters are indicated for the treatment of respiratory diseases and musculoskeletal system. In Penafiel you can visit one of the largest Portuguese theme parks, the Magicland. This former park, called Bracalandia, saw its location change for Braga Penafiel. Its area increased 4 times and its name changed to Magicland. Paco de Sousa Monastery. It is also in this area that can be visited most Castro of the Iberian Peninsula, the Castro Mozinho Monte. This is a proto-Roman city, coeval the beginning of the era, which many scholars and visitors has drawn into its limits. It integrates the newly created route Castros and Barracos border Hispano-USA, along with deputations of Avila and Salamanca and Miranda de Douro and municipalities Mogaduro. Interreg IIA-funded project. Ali recently opened its interpretive center, the Archaeologists and Vigilant Host Zone, and 4 modern sculptures by many other artists. It is city's intention to continue to benefit the area for the reception of visitors. Entre os Rios also deserves special attention, the monuments that are part of the Romanesque route of the Sousa Valley, namely the Monastery of Paco de Sousa Benedictine, the Church of S. Gens, the Church of Gandara, the Church of St. Michael of Entre os Rios, the tombs of the Church of St. Peter of the Bragao, the Memorial Chapel and Espindo Bridge. It is also to highlight the heritage and rural architecture existing in several places and villages of the county, with particular focus on preserved villages Quintandona and Cabroelo, and Entre os Rios, in recovery. It is also recommended to visit the Benedictine Monastery of Bustelo and the aqueduct that stands in its surroundings, as well as the Sanctuary of Our Lady of Mercy and the historic city centre. Tomb of Vigas Monas. The top of the castle of Loyal Peña should be regarded as the cradle of the municipality Penafidelense. The site began to be invested in the prehistory by Galakis. Rock art of this era still find themselves on the site. Then, in the Middle Ages, a castle was built there to defend the so-called land of Peña Loyal. That the origin of the municipality and the name of the city of Penafiel. Also you can visit the Municipal Museum of Penafiel, a reference to national level, and it has attracted many people. In some times of the year recorded an increase in the influx of tourists to the city for events such as the famous Fair of St. Martin, the newly created literary festival Secretaria and agricultural fair Agrival, sports, Football is the sport most practiced in the county, leading hundreds of young people to the various existing clubs in the county. The largest county club and representing the entire county is FC Penafiel. This club was founded in 1951 and has had regular presence in professional competitions Portuguese football, the first and second league. At this time the club will play in the Premier League after has achieved the long-awaited division rise in the previous season, finishing in third place behind Rei-artur and FC Porto.The. At a time of financial restraint and a squad with only 3 foreign players, FC Penafiel managed to climb within 42 games, achieved 18 wins, 19 draws and 5 defeats, scoring 47 goals and conceding 24, so the best defense of the race. This club beyond football has sports such as athletics and fishing, where its athletes have won several national and international competitions. Infrastructure. Education. The county has several kindergartens and schools, primary education, primary and secondary. Penafiel has invested in this area, having built new schools or renovating others throughout the county. Health. The board has several health centers around a hospital and several clinics. Padre Americo Hospital is located in Gilha. Transportation. The council has some train stations in the territory of buses throughout the country and a vast road system. Parishes. Administratively, the municipality is divided into 28 civil parishes.